Hello everybody, this is John here, aka Professor Bubbles, and once again, welcome to my laboratory. In today's edition, we're going to be discussing about a Pokemon that doesn't really get a lot of shine, not lately, but I feel has the best potential, and that is Ditto Vmax. Why? Just like in the game, just like on the TV show, Ditto copies everything. Ditto knows all attacks, you know? So what's important about it? Well, simply put, its main attack for Ditto Vmax, Max Transform. With 3 colorless energies, you get to choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as his attack. So the great thing about that is, you don't need the energy cost. Its attack just copies. As long as you have 3 energies on this Pokemon, they can be water, fire, electric, whatever it is you want. This version of the deck, we run nothing but pure water. And there's a reason why we run the water engine in here, because we have ways to accelerate the water energy faster than other energies. Since Welder is no longer going to be main support in next rotation. So, what's the deck strategy? The deck strategy is always your opponent's strategy. That's it. The whole point is, you play against ADP, you have to have the knowledge to know how to play those decks. If you're going to beat the deck you're playing, you have to play that deck. So in other words, the person who plays Ditto Vmax is only as good as the player itself that knows the knowledge of every deck they play against. So, if I'm playing against ADP, obviously you want to try to go for the first turns like they do to get their GX tag going. Why? Because that's the strategy they have. They hit you in 2 shots. 2 Pokemon are V2 prizers. So, you do the same thing with Ditto Vmax. The only difference is, Ditto Vmax will last longer because he has 320 HP versus the dogs they use that have 220. Take a Decidueye deck. Take a Sandusquarch deck. Basically every deck, you just need to have the knowledge of how those decks run in order to optimize Ditto Vmax. Oh, what else do we run with it? We also run Ditto V. Why is this important? This is attack and his ability. His attack, you go first, you slap energy on it, put energy discard pile, increase the energy cost. So you can get the energy output accelerating faster on Ditto V. And we only run 1 Pokemon that's outside V, and that's a Pokemon V. Why? Because Ditto has an ability, V Transformation. You could basically switch this out with the Pokemon in discard pile. That's a V, and it basically becomes it. Why did I only choose this one Pokemon V? Simply put, if I ever come across mill decks, which actually I've been seeing that's becoming more of a norm, any kind of deck that's like a small deck, Pokemon V just shuts those decks down. Simple as that. And it has the tag to go through. So that's the reason why Pokemon V sort of exists in this deck. Because everything's water, makes it easier to accelerate. Outside of that, we also have their accelerations. 2 versions. One is Froslass. And more specifically about the Frost Over ability. So when you evolve this Pokemon from Snorunt to Froslass, you can take a water energy from a discard pile and attach it to any of your Pokemon. Well, you're going to attach it to your Ditto or Ditto Vmax. Why? Because you can accelerate as fast as you can. Another way we do that as well is with Melanie. Again, you take a water energy and attach it to any of your Pokemon. It doesn't have to be a water Pokemon. It has to be a V Pokemon. And you get to draw 3 cards. So you get the acceleration in your hand plus energy acceleration. So with those 2 different types of methods, and plus running Cube of Net, you can recycle Froslass a lot of times to get those cards accelerated. Again, the whole purpose of this deck, strategy-wise, is the person who's running this deck has to have the knowledge of all decks out there. You have to understand your opponent more than your opponent understands himself. I know, mind-blowing, right? But that's pretty much what this deck is. Can you outplay your opponent using their own attacks? You don't have base damage when you use Ditto Vmax, but you do have Empoleon that can do assist you on certain situations. Outside of that scope, the regular cards you run is the bucket to get the energy out fast. You run escape ropes to help recycle Pokemon from your opponent's active bench as well as yours as well. You run incense for the evolution of Ditto Vmax for Frost. Quick Ball to get the basics out. And that is basically his purpose is to get Frost to use it many times over and over again. You run 2 Tool Scrappers because if I'm playing against certain decks, I know how they play. And I want to be ahead of the game, so I want to get rid of their tools that gives them the advantage. Boss's Orders to help target the key cards you want to knock out. Marie to help disrupt your hand and build a cycle your deck out. Like we already discussed, Simone to get the water to the V Pokemon. And again, it doesn't have to be water, but then it's starting out there. Special Research to help discard your hand, to get the water discarded and get the key cards you need. And we run one Rose. Rose is not normal support people will run because you have to discard your hand, but if you play this card, you have a VMAX on the field, you take 2 basic energies and attach it to one of your VMAX Pokemon. Why is that important? Because you can slap a water energy on that turn, play Rose, 2 energies, you're locked and loaded. It could be that worst case scenario that you don't have set up and you need to get set up. And we run a little energy. I thought about different stadiums. I haven't. I could take out 1 water energy and 1 tool scrapper. Run like 2 stadiums that you get the energy back per turn. But overall, I think this deck's pretty solid as it is. I don't like playing stadiums much that gives your opponent benefit as well. But you guys go ahead and feel free to take those 2 cards out. Like I said, 1 tool scrap and 1 energy, and you replace them with 2 stadiums. So leave some comments and likes. I'd like to see what you guys have to say. What cards would you guys substitute for those 2? Outside of that, I found that Ditto Vmax is a very unique deck. Again, you need to understand how to play other decks or to play this deck. This deck's purpose is for those people who have the knowledge of all decks. You understand all of the strategies of all the different decks. You need to outplay your opponent. That's the purpose of this deck. It's the knowledge of the person versus the knowledge of the player's deck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this time. Feel free to leave some comments. Don't forget to leave likes and subscribe. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.